Hey everyone, and we're back. Welcome to another episode of the Watch That John podcast. I'm James.
And I'm Mary, and you know why I'm shaking my head, James. I ain't gonna say it, but you know why. You know why. But yes, here we are
Welcome
again.
to
Watch That John podcast. Back at it again with another episode.
back at it again, episode 6, The Small Folk.
The Smallfolk. Something that's, well, a group of people that is constantly overlooked by the people in the show, especially Aemon Targaryen, and we're gonna get into that. But how was your weekend, James?
My weekend was beautiful. I did absolutely nothing.
That's the best type of weekend sometimes.
Yes, I don't think we didn't leave the house.
Did you
We
bathe
we
and
just
brush your
cooked a lot.
teeth?
Yes,
Okay.
we cooked a lot. We made blueberry pancakes. Guy got a Blackstone griddle, and it's my
A
prized
black what?
possession, Mary. A Blackstone griddle.
It's
It's
made
an
of
outdoor
stone?
propane power 4-burner griddle. It's like a cast iron griddle, So it's made out of how you
It's
go
like
to
a
the Poppy
skillet,
store
like a cast
or the
iron.
bodega,
Oh, okay.
and like the bodega have the big griddle in the back.
Yeah.
That's basically what I got.
Would they cook cheesecakes? Would they cook pancakes on at like IHOP?
Yes,
But that's not the same of like
pancakes,
what they cook
cheesesteaks.
cheesesteaks on, is it? Because that's steel.
it's the same thing.
They use steel ones.
It's cast iron. It's cast iron.
Oh.
You think about steel stove.
No, I'm
Like
thinking
the
about that
industrial
long,
stove.
flat surface, and they have the little.
That's cast iron.
Well, they be chopping up. Okay. All right. That's good. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you do need a weekend to reset. Honestly.
I used 3, Mary, but yeah, I get you.
3 what?
3 weekends. I haven't done anything since July 5th.
Well, that's good. You saving money. Listen, I need that mentality because the way I've been spending money don't make
Yeah.
no sense. Like I need to buckle down. But
Spending money is a habit, bro.
I
addiction.
I spend money on things I enjoy. I spend money on fun experiences like flights and concerts and plays and shows and pretty dresses. So I spend money on the things that's most important to me.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah,
yeah.
I spend money on food.
Really?
Yeah.
Besides groceries?
Yeah, I just eat.
All right. All right.
Let's get into this episode before I reveal how fat I am.
So this episode starts off with Jason. I want to say Jamie so bad. Jason Lannister and his men arrive at Golden Tooth all the way from Casterly Rock. And pretty much the people who are hosting Jason and his men at the Golden Tooth, they expect them to go straight to Harrenhal, but Jason's pretty much like, we're not going there without Vhagar and Aemon.
Amen. Yes. And he essentially summons. So when he shows up, right? The Lannisters show up, and they meet. Who's the dudes they meet? What was their names? I wrote it down. So the Lannisters show up.
Oh, you mean
and
the
they
people who run
rendezvous
Golden
with-
Tooth?
Yeah, Humphrey Lenford.
Humphrey?
Lefford. Yeah, his name was Humphrey Lefford.
I didn't think people were named
And
Humphrey
he had
back then.
500
Humphrey sounds like a name that only popped up in like the 1920s to the 1940s and it died off.
Yeah, it was just a very short-lived name. But anyway, so he had 500 people, and the Lannisters said, we have 1,000 men plus 7 times more archers. And
So they have 1,000 men and
they also
7,000 archers.
Yeah, so they had 8,000 people in total.
Jesus.
And
a
not
fucking
just that,
lion. Did you see that
and
lion?
They had lions. Yeah, they had lions.
I'm like, what kind of savagery is it? Did it just release the lion during battle?
Well, it is House of Dragons. So they release dragons during battle. But no, absolutely. Like, I feel like lions are, they're way
these
less
dragons
controlled
have-
than the dragons.
have
'Cause at least the
riders.
dragons.
They just releasing wild
Exactly.
animals. Like what? That's just what makes them so sore. The lion won't attack their own men.
Exactly. You just open the cage and just let them run.
That's some Super Smash Brother melee levels of chaos. Like
It is. Just like throw a Pokeball.
What's the
That's
plan
all. They're
here?
treating lions like Pokemon.
Yeah.
Murder, Mary. The plan is murder. So yeah, they're afraid to cross over, and like you said, they reach out to Aemon for their escort, and he is
He's
pissed.
not happy about it.
He's like, he's not. He's like, who do they think they are to summon me? Right? He obviously. I feel like before the incident, when he almost killed his brother, Aegon, he probably would have been glad for like, cause they're all bloodlusty, to go fly over and help. But now he took over as Prince Regent.
And he Hollywood
He's like,
now.
that's beneath me now.
Yeah.
He's Hollywood now, exactly. He's like, that's beneath
Honestly,
me.
it's I feel like I can relate everything to American Dad. Like, how many American Dad references have I given on this podcast? But I remember I was watching this episode of American Dad, and Steve was at school, and no one liked the kid who gave the morning announcements because he was kind of like arrogant and cocky about it. So they finally got rid of
Yep.
him, and then Steve took over. But then he started thinking he was like the shit and could talk about whatever he wanted. And then pretty much everyone who was the school announcer, it just went to their head and they became corrupt immediately. Like, and that reminds me of the Iron Throne, because it's like you said, back in the day, I do think that Aemon would have relished, would have enjoyed the fact that, hey,
See,
I am like, he said, I'm the Prince Regent, not some dog called the Hill. I feel like he would have liked that because it shows him as being like vicious and brutal and like the kind of
yeah,
the hammer, you know.
the Conqueror, exactly. He would have gladly flew, because he gladly flew to
Rook's
Rook's
Rest.
Rest,
Yeah, yeah.
to go lay waste there, with the largest dragon. So he would have done it. He would have done it easily. But I think the real thing is that he's afraid. I think after the Melees did a number on Vagar,
Did she?
and I think that yeah, she did, because they said numerous times that Vagar is resting and trying to heal up, and I think that he is, he talked big stuff like, oh yeah, I'll welcome my uncle to come fight me, but I think that nigga's scared. I think he's just like, let me kind of hold off real quick. Let me not fight Damon quite yet, until I at least get some more help.
See, I don't think it's fear. I think literally, I think he had his head stuck up his own ass. Like, I don't know. He's like, I'm the Prince Regent. And it's like, people don't, you literally
Yeah.
been the Prince Regent for 2 days. Like, you expect people to just suspect you to just listen to you? Like, nah, like you're new to this. Like, relax.
Yeah,
Like, Aegon didn't know what he was
not sure
doing,
this.
but he was in the seat longer than you were. So,
Yeah, but he has more respect than Aegon.
yeah,
Though.
yeah, yeah. So one
He
thing
has
that
more
I
respect
noticed
than
that I
Aegon.
thought was really dirty is that Aemon announces that he wants to form an alliance with the Triarchy to pretty much end the blockade that Corlys the Sea Snake has on the Gullet.
Yep.
And if you want, I can get a little rundown on the Stepstones, the Triarchy, and the Free Cities. Would you like to hear it? I'm gonna do it
Yeah,
anyway.
let's
I'm gonna
go.
do it anyway. So pretty much there are 9 free city states that make up Essos.
It's a
So pretty
city or
much
a state.
city states. Yeah, city states. City or state. I don't understand what a city state is. I never understood it even back then. But yeah, so we have Essos, which is a capital. Well, no, it's a continent. And then we
Yeah.
have 9 city states. So we have Bravos, Loreth, Lys, Mir, Norvos, Penthos, Quhor, Quahor,
You started it.
Tyrosh,
Reading names on this
and
thing
Volantis.
is a risk. Yeah.
It's Quohor. Quahor. Quor. Who knows? Anyway, so the Triarchy is an allegiance between 3 of those free cities. So that's Mir, Lys, and Tyros. Tyrosh. Mir, Lys, or is it Lys? Lys. I'm going to say Lys. Lys?
Lice.
It's Lys. Lys. Whatever. And Tyrosh. So they made a little triarch. They made it like a little allegiance. And we know that the Stepstones is important because it's a small island directly between it's an island chain actually between Westeros and Essos. So it's a really good place to do trade between the two continents. So if you remember in season 1, the crab feeder came, and he was kind of like the unofficial leader of the triarchy, and he pretty much
Yeah, he was.
kind of like the twins, like he kind of like took control of the stepstones, and like he knew it had power because he can charge egregious prices for trade, and like having power of the stepstones, he can like pirate ships that come by who are passing through. You can be a real menace if you have control of the stepstones. And
Yeah.
Corliss, being the sailor that he is, was sick of that. And he was sick of his men being harassed by the crab feeder and everything. So they went to war, and that was the battle of the stepstones, and a lot of things went down. So I think it is kind of dirty of Aemon, where it's like we literally did all this to beat the triarchy, and now you want to make an allegiance with them and just undo all the stuff that Corliss did. You know what I mean?
The enemy of my enemy is my friend. And he's basically saying, yo, Corliss went up and went to war with these pirates, and so did Damon, and it defeated them with the old king Viserys edging them on.
Viserys.
Now he's saying it's 20 years is 20 years later. They need more ships. They want to basically break up the blockade that Corliss has that's stopping in trade from coming
Yo,
into
I did
King's
not think
Landing.
about it. He had that block. He did have that blockade sent. No, it hasn't been 20 years. I thought the blockade started when the blacks and the greens started to quarrel. So the blockade started
Yeah, I
after
think
Aegon
it's
was throned, right?
but it's been 20 years since the war.
Oh, the War of the Stepstones.
So the war of the Stepstones. It's been 20 years
Oh
since then.
wow.
So
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
I
Yeah.
think yeah, it's just all revenge, and he's feeding on the hatred of others. Kind of what Damon did between the Brackens and the Blackwoods. And I kind of get it. It's war, right? I'm not gonna be nice and say, oh yeah, after like there's a lot of times where, like America and Japan, for example, or
God,
America
here
and
we go.
Germany. We was at war, or America and Britain. We all were enemies at one point, and now we're allies. So just kind of how stuff goes.
Yeah. Yeah. So one thing that's interesting, and I wonder if it's going to come into play later, is that we're at King's Landing, and like I said, they're discussing the Lannisters coming to what's it called, Golden Tooth. Aemon's mad about that, and yeah, so people are against forming an alliance with the Triarchy because they're like, we can't trust them. They're nothing more than glorified
The
pirates. Do you
pirates.
really want them in our seas in King's Landing? So Allison, who does Allison bring up, James, from Game of Thrones? A name that you should remember quite well. You don't know?
Um, Littlefinger?
No. So Allison,
I don't remember.
yeah, she asks if there's word from the Greyjoys. The Greyjoys is also a prominent sea family. You remember Theon Greyjoys from Game of Thrones?
I do remember Theon Greyjoy. Yeah, they're from the Iron Isle. So
The Iron
he's from the
Isles.
Iron.
I don't know. I don't
Yeah, I
remember.
think that's what it's called. Iron Islands.
I thought it was called
Something
the
like that.
Iron Isle. I don't know, whatever. So yeah, and one councilman, he suggested a marriage between Alicent and the Red Kraken, who is also Dalton Greyjoy. And I read about Dalton Greyjoy, and this dude is kind of crazy. Like, according to the book, he's like a bloodthirsty man, and he already had 4 wives by the age of 14.
Oh my
So
god.
I get why Alicent was like, "Ew, no, I don't want any parts of that. I don't care if it means we don't have the Greyjoys alliance. I'm not marrying this man."
Yeah. No, they tried to sell her off quick. It was just like, yeah, maybe you can be like you're a woman. You're only good for getting married. Maybe you can
Oh,
go and get married to this powerful man to make
that
peace.
is true. And how
They
the way
tried to
he
like,
said it, it was so just like condescending and like she was property. Like, oh, maybe you'll just marry.
yeah,
Like, nigga, what? I am the queen
what?
dowager. She should have smacked
Exactly.
him like
My
Rhaenyra
son is
smacked
over
that
here.
dude.
My s- exactly. My son is here dying, and we're fighting for his throne. You think I'm leaving to go get married off to the Iron Islands, off of the mainland of Westeros? Like, what do you think this is?
Yeah.
What do you think this is? Put some respect on my name.
Somebody I do
But that's
think
how.
is.
That's
What were you saying?
no. I'm about to say that's how the the nature of the small council is turning. You know, just kind of turning against
They're just kind of dismissing their woman. They're
Allison and
slowly
Aegon.
trying to push them out of the conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Not even slowly,
Mm-hmm.
brazenly trying to push them out the conversations. Like,
Well, Aemon did.
Eamon
He
absolutely
kicked
did.
her off the council.
Eamon absolutely
Kicked
did.
her off the council. He was like, the crown thanks you. Like what?
And
Just kicked him off the council.
yeah, and but speaking, well, I'll get back to that. But speaking of fair, I remember you said that you think Eamon is afraid to go face Damon. I know that Cole's afraid to face Damon because Eamon sends Cole to Harrenhal and he disputes it immediately.
Yeah, he does.
He,
He's like, why would you send me there? I lost so many men.
I lost
I don't got
900
no time
men.
for that. Yeah.
And he says, he's like, we lost many men, as you well know. And how the way he looked at Aemon, it was clearly like, and we lost our king because of you.
Exactly.
Like, he looked at him and his gaze
Exactly.
was unfaltering. And Aemon held it. Aemon was like, yep, sure did.
Yeah.
I burned my own brother.
So instead, they could have the Lannisters with a very large army march towards Harrenhal.
Well, I think Cole is still going with them, though. Cole's still going with them. Cole's still
Oh
going
yeah,
with them.
because later on in the episode, it's yeah.
Cole's going with them to Harrenhal.
Yeah.
I think the Lannisters are going to wait where they are. Well, Aemon, we don't know what's going to happen with the Lannisters because Aemon pretty much said if the Lannisters don't go, they'll have to pay. We know the Lannisters are cocky. We don't, you know. So who knows how the Lannisters will respond. But I do know that Cole and Gwaine are going off to Harrenhal. I do know that. So, but yeah, like you said.
I think you're right because the Lannisters was like, we not going until we get a dragon to protect us.
Exactly.
Because there's a dragon.
Caraxes is there, and Daemon is
the
crazy.
Riverlands. Caraxes is there. It's like, and Daemon's crazy. Like we ain't going out there to die.
Honestly.
And like you said, yeah. So I think that's exactly what's gonna happen, right? Is that I think if Lannister, this is kind of predicting, right? I think if the Lannisters, if they behaved and marched directly to Harrenhal, and if Cole brought a army from King's Landing and marched on Harrenhal, and Vhagar flew over, that the Blacks will have no chance and it'll be over. But I think the arrogance of the Lannisters, them not showing up until too late, is what's gonna probably make it a little more even. That's my prediction.
Yeah, and I get the Lannisters. It's like anytime Cole had 900 men and he lost 900 men, you're saying they have around like 1,700 men. Like, that's still a good portion
Yeah.
of men that they could lose, like, with Vhagar. So, well, with Caraxes.
Yeah,
I know
7,000.
Caraxes isn't
They have
Vhagar,
7,000.
but yeah.
8,000.
7,000. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, they should go because the Blacks don't stand a chance now. Man.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Exactly. They don't.
But yeah, going back to what you said of Aemon dismissing his mother. How did you feel when he did that?
It's on brand. I wasn't surprised. It was on brand. He was just like, yeah, you're done. And you could tell how hurt she was because she's given so much to the realm and given so much to her family, especially like her boys who were like screw ups growing up, and her dead and gross, like her dying and gross husband. Like she gave so much to the men in her family and around her, and even Otto Hightower with accepting to get married to Viserys anyway. So just for her to be dismissed, like you're the weakest link, goodbye. It just kind of it rubbed her the wrong way.
I don't think.
And Ali and I were laughing because we were like, what else is she gonna do? And all she kind of went and just watched her dying son, Aegon, just lay there.
See, I don't think she was hurt at all. I think she was scared. I think she was like, I have birthed the Antichrist into the world, and now he sits on the Iron Throne. And right now, he's dismissing me from the only place where I can do something about this and protect the people
Where's the only place that
from
yeah.
Aemon.
You're right. She probably feels she's the only one who could rein him in. And even when she sat there and she webbed his face, it was like, are you still pissed off by your childhood?
She said, have the indignities of your childhood not yet sufficiently be avenged. and she strokes his face.
Yes,
And for a moment,
like
we
you
see
still mad?
yeah. But for a moment, she's like stroking his face. We see a glimmer of something in Eamon's eye, not his eyes, in his eye. We see a glimmer of softness in his eye. And for a second, he holds his mother's hand to his face before he hardens
He
himself and he
does.
removes it. And then he
And he
walks
just
up
gets up and
and he
walk away.
says, "You have the gratitude of the crown." Like he hardens himself. So it's like, I feel like Damon, I feel like both of them. But let's talk about Eamon. I feel like Eamon is always just trying to do away with the vulnerable, soft child that got taken advantage of. And now he's just overcompensating in the most egregious ways.
Yeah, he is. He is.
But
So, moving on, right? We go to Rhaenyra's castle,
Dragonstone.
and she having our small council in Dragonstone. And they show the Corliss, he puts on the pin to show that he's now her hand, and she gives him a nod. And they sit down, and then they bring in Sir Stefan Darklyn.
Who
And
is
this
not
man,
dark, and that is a problem.
this man, yo,
We gotta post that Kevin on
they set him
stage.
up.
Reel.
I will.
Yeah, that's funny.
I will. I'll share the Kevin on stage. But yeah, they bring in him, and basically, Rhaenyra says that, look, your great grandmother.
Wait. So your
Ariana.
grandmother's grandmother is your great grandmother.
Yes, your great grandmother
Are you sure?
was a Targaryen. I looked it up. Was
Okay.
a Targaryen princess.
Ariana, not
And-
Grande.
Yes, and was a Targaryen princess, and you share some of her blood. And we looked at the research, and we think you'll be a good fit for a dragon rider. And to Stefan's, like honor or courage or whatever,
This is a great
he
opportunity.
dropped down. Yeah, he was like, I could be a dragon rider, I could be a knight. He was like, I sacrificed my life to you anyway. So let me sacrifice my life trying to do this.
How would you
And
feel
Rhaenyra was like, made it.
if you were
I would do
asked?
it too. Shoot, let me get a dragon.
You would take that risk?
Yeah,
Because
I would do
Rhaenyra
it
told
too.
him, she said, listen,
I-
this is dangerous. You playing with fire, literally.
No, I get it. I would try it too.
Honestly, yeah, if I was a
Right?
knight,
I would try it too.
I'm going to try it. Like, I'm going to try it anyway. Like, if I already kind of committed myself to the possibility of dying a terrible death in war, if someone offers me to be a dragon rider, I'm taking it.
Yeah.
If I was
exactly.
a regular, degular
and-
person, absolutely not. But,
like, let me try.
right.
Because if you're a dragon rider, you could change the tide of the war. The risk, at least at the moment, seems like to outweigh. I mean, the reward seems to outweigh the risk until that nigga got burned up.
Oh my God. It's just like, so I have a few things to say. So we go into, I don't know, I guess it's called the keep. I guess that's what it's called, where they keep the dragons. And we have the dragon tamers there. There's like 4 of them or so. And they're pretty much summoning sea smoke to come up, speaking Valyrian. And the tamers have these long sticks, and I'm like, what the hell are these sticks supposed to do?
I said the same thing.
What?
What are these little toothpicks to a dragon gonna do? Like, what are
Give
you
him
doing?
a boo boo?
Probably they would just just push him away.
him in the eye?
Just like, no, dragon, don't eat. Yeah, like, what are you doing?
What is that supposed to do? But so, and I noticed that when we hear sea smoke coming, Sir Darklyn is like quietly praying to himself. No, that's
he
a
is.
smart man. I would have pissed myself. Just the anticipation. Just waiting.
Yeah.
You hear it coming, but you don't see it. I can't
Exactly.
imagine anything more terrifying.
No, neither could I. And even when Sea Smoke was kind of hanging out on the corner, off like the side of the platform, and kind of like just like showing his back, like, yeah, try to get on me, nigga, try to get on me, and like he was just kind of like inching forward, And then
Looking
at one
like he was
point
about
he
to
was
submit.
like, Yeah, he was like, I've done it. And I think the dragon either smelled him or saw him and caught his skin complexion, was like, you're a little too
They
light for
not like
me.
us. Do,
And it
do, do,
turned.
do.
And then, yo, he got up and just like the way that the dragons
He
like
said, "Fuck all
basically
y'all.
build
You have
the,
insulted me. All y'all niggas gonna burn. I don't care who gets because
the
my thing is he could have focused on one person. That dragon did a sweep of fire. He was like, nah, fuck
he
all
did a
y'all.
sweep.
I'm pissed.
Yes. He did a sweep. And just the way that the fire builds in the dragon's mouth right before they go,
Ah, that was
it is
beautiful.
epic, yo. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah. One thing I
beautiful. And
noticed,
you know what's crazy? Okay, let me say. Well,
you got some
say
special
your first
effects
part.
facts.
Yes.
All right, let's hear it.
They actually burned these people, yo. That was real fire.
Wow.
They put alcohol and Vaseline on these people with some flame-proof suits and set them on fire.
I used to do that in college with my one friend. We used to put
Set people on fire?
we used to set ourselves on fire. Yeah. We used to take hand
Penn
sanitizer,
State,
put a
though.
glob. Yeah, we were retarded. Not retarded. We were very dumb. Put a glob of hand sanitizer in our palm, and then set the hand sanitizer on fire, and then try to like move the hand sanitizer from hand to hand so it looked like we were firebending.
Wow.
Yeah, we would pass the fire to each other in a dormitory.
Wow. In the dorm. Wow.
One time we made s'mores
Wow.
that same way. Hand.
On your hand, from your hand?
No, not from our hand, but yeah, we took some hand sanitizer and like put it on like a plate or something. So yeah, we pretty much ate hand sanitizer. college.
The good
But
old days.
yeah. So I can't even complain about people willingly being burnt for a role. Yeah, that's really cool though.
They So Eileen asked a question. She was like, "Do you think that Sea Smoke? Well, do you know who Sea Smoke's dragon rider was?"
Laner.
Yeah, Laner, right? Laner was Rhaenyra's first husband, who was gay, and he basically was like, "I want to go live my life, fake my death," and he went off to go live his life, and then Rhaenyra was free to marry her uncle.
She said, "I want my
So
uncle."
weird.
So go fake your death.
I want my uncle.
Like-
Go fake your death, live your life.
This is
And I
so
want
ghetto.
my uncle.
Like, what ghetto soap opera is this? Like, wow. But yeah.
So Eileen was like, "Does Sea Smoke know that Lenore is
Laner.
alive?" Laner does she know that he's alive? Because he wasn't quick to really take on another rider, at least not in that moment. And you think it was just he missed him, or you don't remind me of him, or like you just not it. This is why he rejected him, or he rejected him truly because he wasn't like deep Targaryen.
I think that's a good theory. But I think, well, one thing about Sea Smoke, before I answer, maybe it's me, but doesn't that dragon, when he first appeared, even though he was terrifying, didn't her face look kind of serene? Like her eyes?
Serene?
Yeah, she looked
Like
kind of
peaceful?
serene. Yeah, there's something about her.
No,
Like her face,
no.
I was like, she didn't look like Maylee's looked absolutely terrifying, and so does Vhagar, but there was like a peacefulness to her until she turned up. She said, "Fuck all y'all." But yeah,
Maybe they tried to show like a sadness on the dragon.
yeah, because Rhaenyra did
Because
say
it's
that.
lonely.
Rhaenyra, I remember, she was saying how restless Sea Smoke was one episode, and Mysaria was like, she misses her bond, like she doesn't have her person anymore. So that could be it. She could have just been like, y'all really try to give me this man, and yeah, she may know that Laener's still alive, and she's like, let me try to find him. But yeah, what I think it was, what I thought it was, is that she just didn't like that man's attitude. Like, he was just like, I've done it. And that's when she was like, okay? You've done what? I'm about to show you what I'm going to do. I don't like your attitude. I don't like your pridefulness. And I think what Sea Smoke saw in Stefan Darkland was someone who had his own ambitions. And it's like, are you really here for Rhaenyra once you get this dragon? Or will this power go through your heads and when you allow your own ambitions to hurt Rhaenyra's claim to the throne?
That is a that is a.
It's insightful. I told you
I
I'm
just thought that
insightful.
he didn't like. Yeah, maybe.
You didn't
Maybe,
think he
but
wasn't a
I just
fan of
think
the
that he
white
didn't
meat?
like him. He just don't like the white.
He's not a fan. He doesn't have a taste for white meat.
No, or he does, and that's why he cooked it. You know, made it a little crispy.
He said, I said dark skin, not dark lid. I was crying. You gotta send that video. I was crying. I was crying. Yo.
No, I'm gonna share the video from Kevin on stage. He's a clown.
But yeah, I
He's a
think for
clown.
me, I
But
think that I think it's like I think Sea Smoke knew that once you put this man in a dragon, it's up. He gonna do his own thing. Like it'll go to his head, and that's he not with y'all for real. So yeah.
Okay, I guess we'll never know because he's Rice Krispie treats.
Yeah, he done.
So
He done. But yeah. But going back because we skipped forward ahead. Let's go once again to the to the haunted mansion Harrenhal where Damon is still tripping.
yeah, man, Damon is he's with Casper. You know, he need Ghostbusters. Like
Yeah.
Damon is struggling, dude.
Yeah.
He is. He's tripping, and he sees his brother again, Viserys. You know, and Viserys is sitting on the Iron Throne, and he said, "Did you say it? Did you say the heir for the day?" Right, and he basically was referring to when Viserys lost his basically child and his wife, his son and his wife in childbirth. You know, and Damon mocked them, saying like, "Oh, you were supposed to have an heir, but he was just on the air
See,
for a day."
but Damon never
instead of
said
comforting
that.
his brother.
Damon never actually said those words. Like he was in a tavern and someone else said it and he just kind of like toasted to it, but Damon didn't actually say it. I think Damon fell victim to like peer pressure. Just kind of like I truly don't think I think he did have sympathy for Viserys. But, you know, he wanted to look good in front of people. So when people said, the heir for the day, Damon's the real heir, he was just like, shalom, I don't know. And just raised his glass. Like, I don't know what shalom means, but.
I think it means like peace be with you or something like
Oh, I thought it meant like cheers.
that. No. That's Salud.
Salud. I thought that means
something.
health.
Salud. Eileen, how you say cheers in Spanish? Salud. Yeah, salud.
Okay.
Where were we?
We're talking about the vision.
Yeah, so Damon
Yeah.
Yeah, so Damon's having his vision, right? And he's being confronted by his brother, and his brother banishes him again, and Viserys just starts to cry and weep, and Damon can't take it. He tries to runs out of the Red Keep, and the door won't open, and he's trying to open the door, and then he falls, and he's like, "Please, open the door." And then Strong opens the door, and he's back in Harrenhal. And then Damon, this schizophrenic dude, he gets up and was like, "Is this you? Are you the one who's vexing me?" And try and put a knife to Strong's.
He put
throat.
that knife in that man's
And basically
mouth.
was
Yeah, and he had it at his
in his
throat, and then
mouth,
he
right.
moved it to his upper lip. Like, he was like holding his lip open with the knife, like laughing maniacally. The boy is a
right?
Looney
And
Tune.
Strong's like, "No, he's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs,
Yeah.
man. He's gone.
Yeah.
He's gone." And after that, right? He's like, "Your king is watching you." Then he was like, "Don't watch me. Don't watch me. Like,
Don't look at me.
and then he's like, "I'm out, yo." He packs his bag and he tries to leave.
Yeah. But one thing I
Until-
noticed about him in the throne room with Viserys, that is the first time I seen Damon cry.
Yeah.
I've never seen him cry before.
Yeah.
And I think he's just tortured by the fact that he hurt his brother in such a way. because like you said, he
Yeah.
didn't, when the event actually happened, he didn't see his brother break down and cry like that. So
Yeah.
really seeing how much he had hurt his brother, considering the fact that his brother lost the majority of his immediate family, he couldn't
Mm-hmm.
take it. I've never seen him cry. But one thing I remember, last episode I talked about how much I loved Sir Simon, and just how like nonchalant and carefree he is about everything. But I thought about it. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I bet Sir Simon has seen many overzealous men come and try to conquer Harrenhal, and just slowly watch them all fall into lunacy.
Just all of them go
So he's
crazy.
probably unbothered because he knows what the outcome is going to be. He's been there before.
Yeah. No, you're right. He's older, and like in that time, people don't live to be old unless they've gone through some stuff. And right,
They
like
earned their gray
if
beards.
he's 45, that's yeah, if he's a 45, he's an old
You
man,
doing
right?
good
Like
before
you
you
said, you earned
45?
it.
What?
You doing good.
You get
So
senior
I
discounts.
think he I think that he, like you said, he's been there, done that, and he's wiser than he puts on. I think his strength is act like that he's like
Like an imbecile, but he's
just
not.
eats all the time and jolly like an imbecile, but he's not. He's running the whole castle.
Yeah, Damon might be
And
onto
actually,
something.
there's evidence to it, right? So
No, don't tell
um,
me. You got
don't
some
tell you
book.
what.
Don't tell me what you about to say about Simon Strong. What you got some spoilers from the book?
No, no, I don't. But I'm gonna jump ahead.
No, wait.
So
What? All right,
okay,
you gonna jump ahead and I'm gonna come back. Yeah, continue. Don't spoil nothing though
okay.
for me.
When we don't spoil nothing, it's not nothing new. It's just something I observed.
Oh, okay,
So,
okay.
so when Simon later on, right when Lord Grover passes away, and Simon is like, "Yo, he was sick," and all the Maesters try to heal him, and it perplexed them. Then he was like, "Even our healer, Alice Rivers, tried to help him with no avail." Right, and he said that, and you could see a slight smile on his face,
It was on Damon's face, not
as
his
if
face.
it was on his face too. It was on his face first. Me and Eileen noticed it the second time around we watched it, and I think that he knows because she predicts that something's gonna change the tide in
Yeah,
3 days.
yeah. I didn't see it on his.
When she
That's what I'm saying.
confronts.
Damon knew it was gonna. Like, yeah, I was like, I thought that was agreement between, well, an agreement
It
between
was.
Damon
I think-
and Alice. I didn't think Simon Strong had anything to do with it.
I think Simon knew that Alice was gonna kill him. And I think the way she said it was like, we even sent our healer over. Why else would she send his healer over? You know, he could have just stayed out of it. And she went over to help him, and he died. And like I said, he had this little slight look on him.
I didn't see
Just
that.
slight,
I
ever
saw it
so
in Damon. I
slightly.
didn't see it in Simon. I'll have to watch again.
Yeah, just every so slightly look with a little smirk, and then he walks away. And I was like, yeah, man, he's not as dumb as he looks.
Yeah.
He knows he's playing chess out here.
Yeah, because when Damon storms off, Alice is pretty much like, "Well, you're not gonna say goodbye? Like, where my hug at?" And he's like, "I wake up."
Where my hug at?
And
There were
he's,
so many pervy boys in high school that would say that. Where my hug at?
oh my god! And I used to give it to him, knowing it, and feeling creeped out. But it's like, let me be nice. I wish I could take back a
me
lot
be
of them hugs.
Take back the hugs.
Yeah, cause it,
Yeah. Where
gross.
my hug at?
Nigga. But what was I saying? Yes, and he's pretty much like, I did feel bad for Damon. He was like, because he was like, you're always running away from your problems. Like, you just run away. And he's like, I wake up and I don't know where I've been.
Yeah.
Like, I'm freaking out.
Yeah.
I don't know what's
I'm
happening.
freaking out.
And there was this part that was really funny. She talks about the curse of Har in the Black. He doesn't believe it, but pretty much Har in Black, well, the curse of Har in Black. So pretty much Har and Hor built Harrenhal over 40 years, right as Aegon was making his claim. Well, Aegon the Conqueror was making his claim for the Iron Throne. Harren did not bend the knee, so Aegon came and burned everybody else, burned the whole castle down and killed many. So pretty much the curse is whoever, like you said, whoever is the Lord of Harrenhal, they're gonna be haunted. So, or cursed.
Mm.
So yeah, so you know, Damon's like, that's not true, whatever, and he at one point he's just like, what did he say? He said something along the lines of, he's quiet for a moment, and he was like, if you have any advice of how to deal with the River Lords, that'll be helpful. And Alice is like,
Any counsel?
Daemon Targaryen asking for help, and he looks at her like she crazy. Counsel.
Counsel.
And she just kind of like, whatever, man. He looked, it's just funny. Like, even when this man is terrified, he still manages to be funny with just how, like, I don't know. He just, even when he was talking to Viserys in his vision, when Viserys first says, did you say it? He kind of looks around. He was like, you can't still be mad at this. And his face, like, I cracked
Exactly.
up.
You can't still be mad. Like,
So she's
yeah,
like,
he doesn't, like, yeah, he doesn't read people well. He doesn't understand. Like, he just,
it's just like, that's kind of the wild card about him too, because even later on, like you said, when Simon Strong pretty much tells him about what Alice did, like you said, I don't know if Simon knows. He may know. To me, I didn't think Simon knew. Damon smiles to himself, but then 2 seconds later, he bursts out in tears. And I don't know if that's kind of tears of joy, or I don't know if he's still reeling from the vision he
no.
had of Viserys.
I think, yeah, I don't think those were happy tears. Ali and I was questioning why did we think he was crying? And I think it just all hit him. He's going through a lot.
Yeah.
This is like he's going through all the failures of his life. He's reliving it vividly, vividly reliving it, and vividly seeing all his errors. And I think it's just kind of slowly breaking him.
That's what he deserves.
You know.
But yeah, Alice is I don't know why she's helping him, but she says, she points out that House Tully,
She want that Targaryen D.
she could have been
She
had
want
it.
the hot D.
That Damon gives it to anyone. I feel like whether you ask for it or not. So but
Oh no.
Alice points out, she said that House Tully is a key to uniting the Riverland. She said pretty much like, these niggas can't get along if it's not for House Tully keeping them in line. And pretty much Grover Tully don't like you. So in order for the tides to change, we need to get to the boy. We need to get to this grandson, Oscar Tully.
Yep.
So it does make sense for her to go there and then put old Grover out his misery in 3 days. So yeah.
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 It does.
But yeah.
So moving on along.
Yeah.
So, there was a short scene that I don't necessarily think is worth getting too much into, where they
Corlys and
they
Alan.
hop over to Corlys and Alan, and he basically offers Alan a chance to be first mate, and he doesn't really want it. He was like, "Is this an assignment or this is an offer?" And then Corlys was essentially like, "Show up tomorrow," right? And I think he's reluctant to hang around with Corlys because later on he shows that he was talking to his brother
Adam.
and he was shaving he was talking to his brother Adam. Alan was talking to his brother Adam, and he was shaving his white hair, right? So I think he was afraid that he would realize that this is his son, and shaving his white hair. And they were basically talking about how they lived under the shadow of the sea snake in his castle, and that he will basically quicker die than admit that they're his sons, right? Which is powerful, but also a little sad because
Sorry, my alarm went off.
No, that's fine.
Honestly, I did not think that.
A little sad because
I did not think that Adam was also his son.
yeah, neither did I. I didn't think that either until they mentioned it.
I'm like, dang, you was big cheating.
It's sad because
Corlys.
it plays into the stereotype that black men don't take care of.
I thought the same thing. I thought the same thing. I was like, and then they got Raina over there babysitting white kids like a mammy. I was like, all right. I said, all right. But to be fair, there are a lot of white men in Game of Thrones who also have bastards. So But still, I was like,
Yeah, but the bastards don't cry about it.
Jon Snow
Like the
cried.
bastard is like, I'm a bastard. Oh no. Say what?
Jon Snow cried. He cried.
Jon Snow didn't cry because he was a bastard.
Jon Snow did do a lot of things because he was a bastard. I remember in Game of Thrones, he was saying how he's still a virgin because he didn't want to have any more bastard kids and make a kid because he went to a whorehouse, like they all would, and they were like, okay, here's your chance to lose your virginity, and he couldn't do it because it's like if I have sex with a whore, I'm just gonna put another bastard in the world, and I know what that feels like.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So
No, I agree.
yeah, yeah.
So then they jump. So then the next scene they jump to
King's Landing.
is King's Landing, and a bunch of poor people at the bar.
Poor people.
And they're talking
Common
about
folk.
how common small folk.
A bunch of peasants.
Yeah, the poor peasants. Right? They're at the they're at the bar, and they're basically eating scraps of fish because that's the only food available. And the head whore lady, mistress, madam, whatever, the madam of the whorehouse, she's essentially like, yo, like we're starving, but Aemon is celebrating that he's now the Prince Regent and bringing basically all these prostitutes to the castle and having a grand on time.
Well, she said
And
she
Oath,
sent two girls
right?
over there. What, two of her girls went to the Red Keep, and they
Yeah.
said they had lamb and beef and honey pies and all types of food, not just fish that the small
Yeah.
folk have been eating for weeks.
For
Probably
weeks,
months.
right? And then months. And Oath, he was like, Viserys loved his parties too, but he never did it.
He never
when
had
the
his
poor
feast.
folk had nothing.
Yeah, when we starved.
He never had a feast when we starved. And the next scene, right? They show, like, I think it was just in the crowd, and they showed just the soldiers just leading like a dozen sheep in a wagon to go feed the dragons, and they're like, you guys could go feed dragons and not feed us. We want the meat. What are you doing? Right? We want the meat.
Yeah, how brazen
And then
must
the
you
word
be
gets
to wheel a cart full of lambs through a city of starving people?
Exactly, a city of starving people. And then they tell Aemon, like, hey man, the small folk are pissed off. Larys tells him, right? And Larys, strong. He's the master of whispers, and he's like, basically, he tries to convince them that you can fight a battle outside, but internal battle is more insidious, more dangerous. And then he's like, your people are uprising and they're pissed off. Aemon was like, so.
Yeah, he said he just
Like,
foolishly disregards the small folk, and it's like you're so dumb. It's like what Allison said. She was like, "You have all the impetuousness and arrogance of a child or something like that." No, she had you have all the impetuousness and arrogance of youth, something that isn't desired in a
Yeah.
king. And it's true. It's like, what kind of king would
Yeah.
just sit back and be like, so the people are starving? Dude, these are the people you serve. How do you expect them to hold loyalty to you if you're not taking care of them? What sense does that make?
You see, and that's the problem, right? He believes that the people serve him, not that he serves the people,
Preach.
right? And that's the problem.
Preach.
And I think that's the problem with a lot of these kings and
Authority figures, yeah, they think we serve them. It's like,
authority
no,
figures.
you're supposed to serve us. Like, I know it was different back
Exactly.
then. Democracy wasn't a thing. A lot of kings thought they were there by divine birthright, and still, like, you can't
Yeah.
be an idiot.
Because my father one day killed your father and took this castle, now I own right for the rest, and all my generations have the right to this food.
Even
And you don't
him
because-
saying, like, why are they mad at us? They should be mad at the Sneak Snake for the blockade. And Laris was like,
Like,
they look
what?
to you for guidance and assistance. Like, what are you saying? They're not going to go to the sea
What are
snake
you
and be like,
saying?
give us food. Like, it's war. They understand that. But they expect you to do something about it.
Exactly.
And then Aemon plays the hell out of Laris.
Yeah, Laris, Laris is slick, yo. If you remember, Laris, I'm pretty sure I think he might have made a play to the hand, or maybe when Viserys was alive, I can't remember. he might have made a plan for the hand when Viserys was alive, and then he
He was too
definitely
busy
made it
jerking off to
when
Allison's feet in season 1. I don't remember him doing that.
that is I don't know. He might have. I kind of remember him talking to him, but he
Because I
definitely
don't
made a
think he had
play
a seat at
for the hand
the
of the king.
council. I don't think he had a seat at the council until he became the Lord of Harrenhal after he killed his family.
Yeah, yeah. No, you're right. You're right. You're right. He did. He was basically he's been shooting his shot and being real sly, inconspicuous, and manipulative. And Aemon was like, "Nah, son." He was like, "Yeah, you're right. I need a hand, and I make that your responsibility." And he was like, "Oh, I'm so honored." He's like, "No, you
You
toad.
told. Just embarrass him in front
I
of
want you to go get
everyone.
my grandfather.
Right.
Yeah, I want you to go get my
And
grandfather
he
and bring
said
him
his
here."
devotion to his family has never been in doubt. I cracked up. Because, Laird killed his damn
Oh, I
family.
didn't even catch that.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
right. You're right. He saw right through Laris. He saw right through him because I wouldn't trust him either.
Yeah. Yeah. For
He
real.
saw right through him.
And then Aemon goes to Aegon when he's lying in bed and pretty much says, "Don't tell Mama or I'll kill you."
It's like when we were little and we'd be playing or whatever, and like I hurt you by accident or on purpose, and you sit there and cry and like, shut up,
Don't tell Mom. Don't tell Mom. No, it's okay. Don't tell Mom. Don't tell Mom. I remember I saw
It's okay, you're fine.
this one meme years ago. It was like of this like Renaissance painting of two people, and one man had an arrow sticking out of his eyes, and another man was there like with his hands out, like he was trying to like subdue him, and the caption was like, "No, no, no, you're fine, you're fine. Don't tell Mom. Don't tell Mom. You're fine, you're fine, you're fine. Don't tell Mom." I was like, yeah, yeah. That happens. I remember one time. I forget what it was. I think I punched my cousin in the stomach for who knows why. And he just started crying. I'm like, I did not expect him to cry like that. And I'm like, "No, you're good, you're good. Don't tell your mom, it's fine, it's fine."
Oh, I remember that. I remember that.
I didn't think he was gonna cry like that.
Ooh.
I don't even think I hit him that hard. And he just started bawling. I
You
was
you
like,
did
"No,
you
no, no,
you
no."
did a Dragon Ball Z punch. You punched and stepped into it. He was like, and he just fell. He's like, ah.
I was like, "No, no, 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 don't
I
tell
remember
mom."
that.
But I don't even feel bad because some dudes are doing WWEing each other. Every time he went over there, it was WrestleMania.
I know. To the nigga's house.
yeah.
I missed them.
But yeah, and
So
yeah.
so anyway, where were we? Oh, so going back to Ray Ray. So Rhaenyra, after she made her overcooked mistake, right? she's walking, and who's the one of her
One of her advisors
yeah, one of her advisors is basically second guessing her,
saying, "I told
it
you
was
so."
like, oh, it should have been obvious this wasn't gonna work. I told you so. And she went over and she slapped him, and she was like, "It's my fault you don't fear me."
Like, I am your sovereign.
I thought, yeah,
Don't forget it.
yes.
I do what I
And
want.
I thought that was a boss move. It's my fault you don't fear me. I feel like some parents say that too. Like, it's my fault you don't fear.
You think I'm your
me.
friend?
Because
I am one of your
you
little
think I'm your
friends.
equal. Yeah, right. And she slapped him, and she was like, yeah,
Don't ever forget. Let this red handprint on your face let you never forget not to fear me. I am your sovereign. I do what I
Exactly.
want when I want. Like, don't play with me. I ain't
Yeah,
your mama. I ain't your
even-
sister. I ain't your daughter. I ain't your auntie. I am your queen.
yes, I am your queen. And people are getting it twisted with Rhaenyra.
And I think it
And
shifts.
then-
I think it shifts because are you about to say the same thing about what Mysaria says to her?
No, you go.
I think that I think Rhaenyra is finally stepping into that more as well too, because pretty much she's in her little, I don't know what room it is, maybe like her, what's that room you call when you make charts and maps, whatever. She's in her private sector, and Mysaria is there, and Rhaenyra, she has a sword. She walked in and caught her eye. She picked it up, and she had it the whole time she was talking to Mysaria. Even after the conversation was done, she almost walked out holding the sword. And Mysaria stops her, and she's like, "Hey, can I say something? That sword, you with this sword, it becomes you." And Rhaenyra kind of looks around, embarrassed, and then she puts it down. But I think what they're trying to
Mm-hmm.
tell us is that Rhaenyra's transforming. Like she's not.
Yes, she's tired of it. She's over it.
Yeah, she's not going to be the
She's not.
same.
She's
Because one thing I notice about Rhaenyra a lot of times is she does seem rather unsure. Like in earlier episodes, she'll say something,
mm-hmm.
but then kind of look around or look down, kind of like a person who's not entirely sure, you know. But I feel like now she is stepping into being more of a, I guess, of a warrior, for lack of better words. Like she wants
Yeah,
to
'cause
be
I
the
think she's
queen who
realizing.
fights alongside her people.
Yeah. Yes, I think she's also realizing that her back is against the wall. You know, they just lost Rook's Rest. You know, they just lost her greatest supporter and strongest supporter, and uh, uh, Auntie Ray
Rhaenys,
Ray. They lost Auntie Ray Rhaenys, and they lost
Meleys.
Rhaenys' dragon
Yeah.
and Meleys. Why these?
Even something as
All right,
simple as
and
losing, I forget, losing Eric. I think Eric was her dude. Not simple, but yeah, she's her numbers are dwindling.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Her numbers, her numbers are dwindling, and it feels like it's my back's on the wall, and I'm here. And if I'm gonna sit here and wait, people one day a dragon or two are gonna come and invade this castle and burn everything that I love and I fought for. So I'm tired of being passive. I'm going out and I'm getting mine, and I appreciate it. You know, and she's frustrated because she doesn't know how to do it, and she's trying to strategize. And the only person I feel like
Because
she
she doesn't
listens
want
to
to end up
now
like
is
Aegon, and that makes perfect sense.
yeah, no, she listens to her counsel, but she listens mostly to Masalis,
Massaria? Who is Massalis?
Masaria.
That should be
I
a
don't
new
know, man.
name,
These
Massalis. You
niggas.
combine
What's her name?
Mysaria and Meleys.
Mysaria.
Yeah.
Listen to her and her son, and that's about all she listens to right now. And I get it.
So
I
let's
get
go
it.
down to Dreary Eerie, the Eerie. Or like I said, Raina is out
Mm,
there babysitting these white kids like a mammy, her stepbrothers.
yep.
And she's just walking around
Yep.
the Vale, and then she noticed scorched earth and animals. And immediately she knows.
Yes.
She goes back, she's in her room, and then Jane Eyre comes in, and she's like, hey, Lord so-and-so agreed to host you and your stepbrothers in Penthos. And she's just like, you lied. There is a large dragon in the Vale. And she was
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, it's been here for a while.
But the dragon's wild,
Yeah.
right? So, what do you think was the significance of that? You think the dragon is just gonna go crazy? You think it's another dragon that can be subdued and captured?
Raina's going to get a
You know,
dragon.
because yeah, Reina doesn't have a dragon,
Yeah, because her last attempt
right?
to get one, yeah, her last attempt to get a dragon, the dragon didn't take. It didn't like her.
Yeah, the dragon didn't take, and her dragon was stolen by
By
Vagar
Aemond.
was stolen from her by Aemon. So
Yeah.
I think
Well,
she could
that's what I'm
go and
thinking. That's
conquer
what I'm
that big old
thinking.
dragon.
Was because I forget the name of Baela's dragon. Was Vagar supposed to go to Baela, or did Baela already have a dragon? Do you know? Because Baela
I
has a
think
dragon
Baela already
now,
had
but
a
I don't
dragon
know. I don't know if she
because
had.
Baela's older, so Baela already had a dragon.
Okay, you don't
She
think
already
Baela
had
was
one.
gonna? Okay, I was like, I thought. Okay, yeah, she did already have a dragon, so I guess, yeah, I guess, Vagar was gonna go to Reina. Oh yeah, I'll be bitter too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'll be bitter too.
Yeah, so I think she's either gonna go and that dragon could cause some ish. Either she could go get the dragon and be like, yeah, I'm tired of being on the sidelines. That's probably what most likely is gonna happen. She could go conquer that dragon.
Because I remember she was hurt that
Like,
she was sent to the Vale. She asked Rhaenyra, she was like, am I sent because I don't have a dragon? So she's pretty much saying, if I had a
yeah.
dragon, would you make me a babysitter? You know what I mean? Like you don't
Mm-hmm.
find me of use because I don't have a dragon. So I know that's a sore spot for her.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
But
So there's another scene we already talked about Alan and Adam, but then going back to Rhaenyra, she's at the castle,
Dragonstone.
and her son come Dragonstone, and her son comes up to her
Jace.
and basically was like, "I heard Jace. I heard that you slapped I heard you slap Bull. Why'd you do it? Essentially, she's trying to figure out the story. And she says, I have tired of being protected. I bring to mind too much their mothers or their daughters. They must see in me a ruler, and the symbol of authority are not jewels and gowns, but the shield and the sword. Right? And I think it's exactly what you were saying earlier, that she is transforming to being more aggressive and more decisive. And I think the biggest thing that she's done, the biggest thing she's done so far in this
We'll
war
slap the
was
spit out of
setting
nigga.
that no, sending that gift to King's Landing.
But remember what
Right,
Jay
sending a
said?
gift to
Jay
King's
said
Landing.
something that I thought was really sweet. He said, "My ruler is my mother, and I would not have it
He
otherwise."
did say that.
And it's like,
He did say
you
that.
know, I think a lot of times for women, you're expected to be either or. Like whenever like an
Mm-hmm.
up and coming artist, like when Cardi B got pregnant, everyone was like, "Why would you get pregnant? You can't be a mother and a performer." It's like women when athletes get pregnant, like when Serena Williams got
Mm-hmm.
pregnant, they're like, "Oh, it's all downhill from here." And a lot of times people
Mm-hmm.
expect women to choose between motherhood and their ambitions. But I
Their careers, their ambition,
mm-hmm,
their identity.
they're yeah,
You know.
exactly. And Jason's like, "You're my mom, but you're also my queen." And I love that. You can be both. It makes you stronger that
Mm-hmm.
you are both to me. So,
Yep.
but yeah, continue. Let's talk about Mysaria's and Rhaenyra's plan.
Yeah. So their plan was to send a gift, right? And you know about the chaos that's happening, and in King's Landing with the starving, and so the dude is fishing. So one of the King's Landing guys is fishing, and he notices a boat pops up, and he checks out the boat, a little like craft or whatever, and he notices there's food on the boat with the black Targaryen's flag, so Rhaenyra's flag on it, and he looks up and there's like dozens more in the distance, and then the crowd goes crazy and they start taking all the food and running and like kind of looting each other for the food, and like where did this come from? And it was like Rhaenyra, she sends a gift, she sends ships, and they have hope. They're like, even now she thinks of us.
Mm-hmm.
Even now when she's fighting for a crown, she thinks of us. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that is cannot be understated. It cannot be understated. Even though, like you said, it's not a democracy. They can't they can't vote for her to be the next king or queen, but the power of the people and their influence and what like what they can do and how they can turn
They
on the
could turn the
royals, and it
tides.
showed, right?
Yeah.
It showed how they turned on Alicent, and they turned on I can never remember the queen's name.
Helena?
They just show her like once, Helena, right? How when they went to pray and they went and attacked them, it's you can't ignore the will and the struggles of the people, especially when you have a large population in that small area of King's Landing.
Mm-hmm. Going back to
It's
King's
foolish.
Landing, one thing that was interesting and just kind of shows how brutality and like a lack of temperance is just continually hurts both the blacks and the greens. I remember Alicent was sitting by Aegon's bedside and the maester come in and he pretty much says Aegon won't ever be the same. Like even when he wakes up it's kind of a
Mm-hmm.
done bun for him. Cause she asked him, she was like, I thought she said he was doing better. Because Aegon
Mm-hmm.
is no longer speaking. And jumping forward to like you said, um, I'm gonna go back and forth a little bit, but jumping forward, uh, Alicent comes to Helena and she's like, "Hey, let's go to the septa. I forget what it's called. Let's go to the septa and light a
Deception,
candle
yeah, yeah.
for Aegon."
Mm-hmm.
And Helena's there and she's looking at crickets. She has like three small cages of crickets. And then she said, "This one has stopped singing. It's so strange." And I'm like, I
Mm.
wonder if that cricket and him stopping singing is a representation of Aegon's silence because
Mm.
of Aemon's threat. Pretty much saying, if you say anything, that's it.
That's it. It's a wrap for you.
Because, like we said, I don't.
Mm.
It just annoys me how much people ignore Helena. I'm like, Helena be telling us everything. This girl is a seer. She's something. Like, she knows the future. She's an oracle. And they just be like, whatever,
Yeah.
Helena. She just be saying the wildest stuff. No, listen to her. Study
Listen to
her.
her.
Study her. But
Yeah. No, you're right.
back to so pretty much the maester comes in, and the maester also informs Alicent that House Beesbury, which
Mm-hmm.
House Beesbury, High Tower is the liege lords of House Beesbury. So they sworn allegiance to the High Towers, but they turned their backs on them because they're upset about Lord Lyman Beesbury's death. So pretty much, if you don't remember,
Yep.
if you remember, because I don't remember, do you remember what happened to him?
I I do remember. So when after Viserys passed away, after his death, the morning of, Otto Hightower at the small tower, basically at the small council, basically was like, Viserys is dead, but with his last breath, he said that he wants Aegon to succeed the throne versus Rhaenyra. So, the dude,
Lyman.
what's his name?
Lyman.
Lyman. So Lyman, he doesn't like that at all. He's like, "What? You gonna like? I'm not gonna sit here for this
He said, I
and
am
listen to
60 and
this."
7 years old, and I have known Viserys
Yep,
longer than anyone who sits at this table. And I would not believe that he said this on his deathbed alone with only the boy's mother as a witness.
exactly, exactly. And he basically accuses them of murdering
Yeah,
him
he's
and
like,
setting
how
it
did he
up and the
die?
whole
Like,
conspiracy,
yeah.
right? And so he's over here ranting, and people are telling him to calm down until Sir Cole, Christian Cole, right? This is when we first start hating him. Took that old man and slammed his head against the little marble stones that they have, which I have a side note about that.
Okay, I
And he
forgot to
just
look up
died.
what
He
that
killed
meant.
him. I did. I looked it up. So the stones, the set designers, right? When they were trying to figure out
Because the
how to
camera
basically in
pans
the
on them
first season,
stones a few times this episode. So I know it has significance.
yes. So the stones are each member of the small council have a different color
They're like
stones,
big marbles.
and they have the plate. Yeah, they have a plate. So essentially, whenever they join the council and business is starting, they put their stone in the plate in front of
Okay.
them. When one of the council members is missing, their stone is in the center plate on the table.
Okay.
So that's why when Aemon, right, when he was announced Prince Regent and he took over for Aegon, he came over and took Aegon's stone from the center and put it at his in front of him, right, because Aegon was missing.
And he's filling in for Aegon.
So, yes, he's filling in for Aegon. He took over,
Yeah.
for Aegon.
Yeah.
So yeah, but no, when I went, I had to go and research what happened
Lyman.
to Beesbury because it's alignment, right?
Yeah.
And
Like Cole was
now I'm
trying
like,
to
no
make
wonder
him
they're
sit.
pissed.
Yeah, yeah. Cole was trying to make him sit down, but it's like he's so bitter about Rhaenyra that anyone who goes against Alicent in favor of Rhaenyra, he can't control himself. Like
Yeah,
he's just an inside. I hate him so much, and he kills this old man. It's like, yeah, like you killed an old man who I probably cared about, who served Viserys on your council for
yeah,
God knows how. For since season 1, he was serving Viserys. He's been loyal to you, and he's murdered.
it's like it seems so scandalous that the king dies the same night his strongest and longest like counsel and friend is killed the next morning. What is going on? The only person who witnessed that he changed his mind
Was
was
Alicent's.
the mother.
Yeah.
Right? Is all everything you guys are doing is fugazi. We don't trust
It's
you.
fishy feet.
So now,
We
yeah.
don't
So now,
trust you.
now the high towers. So now the high towers are fighting another battle, like that they shouldn't have to worry about in the Reach. They should not have to worry about.
These men are screwing everything up. But
It is.
yeah. So later on, Alicent's Cole and Gwaine are about to march off to Harrenhal, despite their trepidation, and I'm under the assumption that Alicent is not a very good mother. Because now we hear about her son, Daron. Do you remember this dude?
That she sent. No, I don't. That she sent to Ward, right? Basically, she sent for someone else to watch him
At Old Town
in the
with the rest of the
at
High
Old Town.
Towers.
Yep.
And I'm
Yep. He
like,
basically sent him off.
I'm under the impression that Allison isn't a good mother. Like, Aemon's a monster. Aegon's a brat. She let down Helena in the worst possible way by indirectly causing the brutal murder of her child and making her marry her own brother. And now we know that Darren is out there who we have no relationship with. We as viewers don't even know who this man is. Like, you know how you with somebody and you don't even know that they had kids because they never talk about them? You could spend every day with them. And it's like, oh yeah, I got a 3-year-old. What? Why you always with me? You
Like,
ain't never
what?
with your kids.
No, I got a friend like that who we always hang out with them, and
Do you
they
want to
bring
say
their
this on the
daughter
podcast?
everywhere.
That friend's gonna know who it is.
Yeah, you're right.
Ah.
I'm dropping it. But yeah, I get you. I get you.
It's like I don't think
I get you.
she's a very good mom. I'm like, who the hell is Darren? I don't no one remembers him. Like,
Yeah.
so I think he's gonna come into play. But yeah, so let's go to the scene, the chaotic scene of when, like you said, when Helena and Alicent's are in the Septo or whatever it's called, and then the food comes in and people are fighting over the food and it's a big ruckus, and then Helena and Alicent get separated from what happens? I remember someone tried to grab Alicent's arm. Do you remember that? One of the townsfolk, the small folk.
Yes. So after they left the septum, basically her guards noticed that the crowd was getting uneasy. The crowd was getting uneasy, and they were trying to get them basically to
They were
their
hoarding
carriage,
and fighting over food.
Yes, they were fighting over food, and one of the poor people grabbed Alicent begging for food, and the knight just instinctively chopped off that dude's arm.
I felt so bad for
Right.
him.
And
That
then
actor
everyone-
killed it. His face was like, his face was
Yes.
pure, just like shock. Like, yeah,
Yes. Right. And Alicent's like, put away, like shield, just like sheathe your swords, right? But it was too late. It was a frenzy. The people went crazy. They just saw this poor dying, like starving man asking for food, like basically get his arm chopped off, and they freak out and they start attacking the knights. I feel like they killed a few of them.
yeah. They beat
just
the
beat them to
guards
death.
to a bloody pulp.
Yep. And then the girls ran, and I noticed that some of the crowd was protecting
Some
the
of them
girls.
was too, because I was like, what? They were surrounded. How does Alicent only have like a little gash on her arm? How are they not severely injured or trampled? I don't know.
I think.
But yeah, some of the townspeople were protecting them.
Yes, we're protecting them, and basically they barely made it to the carriage.
Yeah.
But before that, they were throwing food at them, and someone went and threw a fish in Alicent's face, right, like a rotten fish. So that fish was a prop, that they basically took like this fake like plastic thing, but they put like this nasty little like gelatinous substance. Gelatinous, yeah. Gelatinous, like gelatinous
We gonna start
substance
doing
on
tongue
this
twisters
fish.
before the episode. Just go.
And basically they made it as nasty as possible. And the person who threw the fish at her face was apparently a professional cricket player. So
Wow.
I don't know if you ever saw cricket, but they be humming the ball, right?
That's aggressive.
They basically just
Did it need all
slapped
that?
and she said her head they said her head turned like 360 after she got hit with the fish.
She did a carry. No, she did an exorcist head turn. Her hair went all the way
Exorcist
around.
head turned after she got slapped with it.
That is crazy.
But no, man, I think it just
But my
showed
thing
how
is, it didn't
pissed
make
off
sense to me
everyone
that they're
is.
throwing food. Aren't you niggas hungry? I get people who are angry don't act with sense, but I'm like, aren't y'all hungry? Stop throwing the food. But yeah.
Yeah, but also they want to show their anger more than their hunger, if that makes sense.
That's not
You
my
know, 'cause
hunger
they were
and
throwing
anger
rotten
intertwined.
fish, and you're hangry.
Yeah.
They were throwing. I think they were throwing spoiled food. They weren't throwing good food.
You know what
Like
that
spoiled
reminds
food.
me of? That reminds me. It's reminiscent of Cersei's Walk of Shame a little bit.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought the same thing. Shame,
Yeah.
shame, shame.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was.
So moving forward, Laris has sort of like a bonding experience with, not a bonding experience, but I think he is he kind of like sympathizes with Aegon, because we know that Aegon is, he said he'll never run again. Like Aegon's leg is completely destroyed, so he's going to be disabled. And Laris has been there before. He knows what it's like.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think he's forming an alliance with Aegon because Aemon dissed him so poorly and doesn't trust him? Or do you think he's just giving
Yeah,
him a heads
absolutely.
up? Yeah, nothing
No,
this man
absolutely.
does is uncalculated.
Yeah, no, he's this is about self-preservation.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, he realized that Alicent is now doesn't like him anymore because he kind of betrayed him. He didn't like side with her,
When she
and then
wanted
he
to
made a shot
roll.
at Aemon.
Yeah,
Yeah, and she made a shot with Aemon, and Aemon basically was like, "Nah, you told go away."
yeah.
So now he's like, "Okay, let me go to the dying man. I'm a crippled. He's a crippled. Maybe we can be friends." You know?
But I think there was some truth to it, because he did tear up. He was like, they were stare. He was like whispering, and he was like, they were stare at you, and like a single tear, almost involuntary, falls from his face, and he likes whispering, kind of like he's talking to himself, and like he's just revisiting past trauma where people treat him like he was less than
Mm-hmm.
and inhuman. So it's that
It. No, I'm about to say it's a horrible time being disabled back then. Right? If you had some type of handicap or disabled, right? Even it's hard now, obviously,
yeah,
but like back then, they thought you were cursed. They thought you were diseased. I
yeah, he
remember,
did say that.
remember that movie 300.
Oh
If any of the babies were born disabled, they threw them off the side of the mountain. Like it was rough.
yeah,
It was rough to be different.
yeah, yeah,
Rough.
man. But yeah, so we already talked about Damon having Damon's visions. He has another vision of
Yep.
Viserys mourning his wife, but this time Damon's actually there to comfort him through it.
Yeah, he is. He is.
And
he is. And I thought that was sweet.
yeah, yeah.
I think that Damon is also going through a transformation.
Oh.
I think Rhaenyra is getting more aggressive, and I think Damon is chilling out.
Yeah,
And I think that's exactly what they need.
yeah.
I think when they come together, Rhaenyra is gonna be upset, and Damon's gonna be like, "Hey,
I was
I'm
wrong.
sorry for being an a-hole all my
Hopefully.
life.
Yeah.
You know, like, let's go and kill our enemies together."
Yeah.
Like he's still gonna be bloodthirsty, but
Absolutely.
he's at least he's gonna realize that I need you as much as you need me.
That man is an agent
You know,
of chaos. It's still gonna be there.
He is.
But
It is.
let's talk about sea
And
smoke.
then, yo,
Riding
see
off.
smoke, yo. So
Adonis sent this
so
meme
Adam.
of sea smoke flying, and it was like sea smoke flew off like it's 7 p.m. Friday. It's 98 degrees. I ain't got no nigga, and no nigga ain't got me. Like sea smoke was out. Sea smoke was out.
He was out, yo, and he flew
Oh,
around,
she.
and it's a she.
Yeah, they're all females because they all give birth.
Vhagar's not female.
Vhagar is a girl. They're all girls because they need the eggs. They're all women. They're all female.
Oh,
Let me double check.
didn't know
I
that.
think all of them are female, which makes sense. Is
Yeah,
Sea
Meleys,
Smoke.
Vhagar.
Vhagar's a girl.
I know Vhagar. I remember they said Vhagar was a girl. Was a female.
Never mind. Sea Smoke is male.
Okay, I was about to say because they're all girls. That means that no more dragons can happen. They can't
Well,
have no
we
more
don't
dragons.
know.
You gotta at least keep
I
one
don't know.
buck.
There may be like roaches where they can
Bull.
like. No, that's stupid.
Rooster.
Roaches. The
don't know.
disgusting thing about roaches, they can get pregnant once and give birth for the rest of their life.
Oh,
Isn't that a horrid little fact?
that is a hard little fact. I know. I heard another little fact. So apparently, octopus, they lay
Octopussy?
about 120. Yeah, they lay like 120,000 eggs, and apparently they take all their eggs and they lay it on like a string, and they hang it. And every day they take each egg off and they clean it and they hang it back up again, so it can kind of like grow.
That's so
And
cute.
apparently they're so meticulous on these eggs that they don't eat. And by the time all the eggs hatch, the mother dies from like starvation and fatigue.
The
I
sacrifices
learned
of
about
a
that
mother.
today. Sacrifice for his
Even in
mother.
the animal
So
world.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, Sea Smoke. So so Sea Smoke flies over and he finds Adam. And at first, all of them were looking at the dragon, kind of perturbed, like, okay, I don't know what's happening. And then he just dives for him, and he
He's
runs
like, that
away.
one. I'm going to get him.
That one, and
Adam just...
apparently
You said what?
the actor did all his own stunts.
Okay.
He basically was running through the forest. He was doing jumping. Apparently, he's a really good athlete.
He probably
And then
runs
Sea
cross
Smoker just
country because he runs really
probably.
well.
No, man, this man was getting his NFL highlight tape, like, and then he runs and runs and he falls in the forest, and then Sea Smoke, you think he disappeared, and then he just like slide
Once
in,
again, these huge dragons being very elusive.
nimble.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
Like how Vagar go missing.
It's terrifying.
He's so big and he just pops up out of nowhere. He did that twice. Do y'all have invisibility too?
They're more nimble than you think.
Nimble is different.
And they just
being completely hidden. Where are you? Where are you?
he wants stealth mode.
Maybe they can camouflage like a chameleon against their
in the
surroundings.
sky.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who knows? They're magical creatures.
They are.
Yeah, but Sneeze.
But anyway,
he came down. He was like, "Listen, I burnt the last one. I want you. I choose you."
Yo, you remember the episode of the Boondocks where the dude in prison he was raping everybody in prison.
Said, I saw you,
and he
and
was
I
like,
want you.
I like you, I want you. And you can do it the easy way or the hard way. But either way, I'ma have you.
Just like that. Just like that.
Just like
And
that.
Adam,
I like you and I want you.
Adam was understandably petrified. Like, what do you do
Petrified.
if a dragon runs you down, corners you, and just looks you right in the eye? You don't know what's happening.
Specifically, just intentionally, just look you in the eyes.
So, do you think he was giving him sort of like? You think he was what's the word? When you ever heard there's a story, this like myth where it's like some being weighs your heart on a scale, and if your heart is heavier than a feather, you go to hell. Do you think he was doing something like that? Like looking into his soul, seeing the contents of his soul to see if you are worthy to be my dragon rider, to be my rider?
I
Or
think
you think he already knew? He was like, come on, like, hurry up.
No, I think he caught him and found him because he's Leonore's brother, half brother.
Oh, he is Laenor's half brother. You're right. Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
He's his half brother.
Oh, he's
And I
like,
think
you remind me of my friends.
You remind me of a boy that I once knew.
Not Laenor
I
off
feel
riding
like-
something else. That's not a dragon. That would hurt.
It hurts,
It
you know.
hurts.
You left me for a nigga.
For some nigga. There's this song. Have you ever heard this song, Cinnamon Apple by Fabulous?
No.
At the end, Kevin Hart does the skit. It's hilarious. You have to listen to it. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to spoil it, but it's hilarious. But yeah, that does make sense. He's like, Laenor abandoned me. Even when you think about Cheese's dog, the rat catcher, how he just kind of waiting for Cheese for who knows how many months, you know? So, yeah, he was restless, and I think he was offended by Darkling because it's like, who is this?
Who is this?
You got my mans. We don't know you. We don't like her. We don't like her.
For real.
Like, who is this? So, yeah, I'm very excited. I'm very excited for that. And even the next scene where, well, let's get into it. So, the next scene, Mysaria and Rhaenyra, they kiss. They make out. They go full-fledged.
Yep.
So,
Yep, they do.
Even though originally, when the show first started in season 1, I did think Rhaenyra and Alicent had a thing going on. Like, I remember when they were kids, Rhaenyra was lying with her head in Alicent's lap, saying all she wants to do is fly away on Dragonback with her. So, at first I did think, is something going on with them? Like, are they in love with each other? Turns out she wasn't, and I guess that's why I was surprised by this kiss between her and Mysaria. Did it seem rushed to you? Did it seem natural and organic to you? Well, not natural in a way, you know what I mean by natural, but did it seem like a natural progression of their relationship, but it just seemed kind of just like forced.
So apparently that kiss wasn't scripted.
So that's probably
Apparently
why
what
it
the
probably
plan
it felt a little inorganic to me.
Yeah, so what was supposed to happen was she was supposed to come over and then embrace her when
Comfort her.
she told her about comfort her about all the atrocities that went on in her life.
And her repulsive father.
And yes, and they were supposed to hold each other, and then something was supposed to try to hint about happening, and then they get interrupted.
Okay, so I would
But
like
the
that
actors-
better. I would have liked that better, like a little
Yeah.
hints.
Yeah, no, the actors felt that it would have been more realistic if they made out. So
Because they know
what they did.
that people who watch Game of Thrones are horny. So.
yeah, so they made out, and
See, I like a
They broke it
slow
off.
build when it comes to romance. I don't like anything to feel rushed. Like I want the tension to build. Even though I'm not one, I personally do not care about sex scenes in a show. Unless if I'm watching a romance movie then or TV show, yes, of course. But I don't care about it. I don't need it. But especially if it's rushed. If it's something where like I said, the tensions build up and it leads to that, that's great. I do enjoy that. But that's why I'm just kind of like, what? I didn't see this coming. Okay.
no, neither did I. Neither did I.
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming either. And then, the knight comes in and basically lets Rhaenyra knows that Sea Smoke was flying around, and he's like, okay, that's what he does. He's a dragon. He can fly.
Leave so I can hunch
with
this
a
woman.
rider. Yes,
Sexually frustrated.
with a rider.
Yeah.
Exactly, and she's like, "Oh heck no!"
Yeah, when he
Like,
said a writer, though,
what?
did you go like, oh, did you feel like excited? I was like, with a writer. I was like, that's
Yeah,
fire.
yeah.
That's fire.
That's fire.
He was like, listen, I claim niggas. Niggas don't claim me, all right? Like, I don't know what you thought this was.
Like I am the one, not the two, not the three, but the one.
I am
Like,
C goddamn Smoke. That didn't make no sense. I ain't never seen Smoke on C. But guess what? I do what I want.
that's called miss, nigga. I'm miss. Like,
And miss me with that Darkland shit. He said.
I didn't say darklit. I said dark skin.
I
I don't want no
cried.
darklit. I want dark skin.
Oh my god, I literally screamed. Like I said, ah! I literally screamed. Like, yeah. And Rhaenyra flies out to investigate once again. She's fed up. She's doing things herself. She's like, I need to investigate this. That is my dragon. You know, well, not her, but that is. No, they're all her dragons. She's just London. That's my dragon, and I need to, so once again, like you said, she's stepping more into her role, and I love that.
She is.
And I can't wait
love
for
it.
next episode. I can't wait. I can't
Yep.
wait.
Apparently, there's only 2 more episodes left.
I was right. My prediction was right.
Or two more episodes remaining. So,
Say I was right. Say it.
no,
All right. So you can't. You know that Bugs Bunny meme? He's just like, no.
no. Yeah.
Man.
Oh man. So, what'd you rate this episode, Mary? I feel like we have the same rating every episode for this whole series. but-
Actually, I would give this episode maybe a large. Well, maybe like a. Okay, the other episodes I'll say extra. I'll give this like a large bag of popcorn. Well, I don't know. I don't think this, even though great things happen, like Sea Smoke was the best thing about this episode. I think a lot of the scenes. I don't know. What would you give it? I'll give it a large bag of popcorn. I can't think of
I
my
give it-
critique right now.
Yeah, no, I give it a large bag of popcorn like I did every episode.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest impact, at least for me, was the townspeople are freaking fed up.
They're forced.
You know, and like Damon, Damon being tripping in the hall and everything. It's kind of a joke now, in my opinion.
It's pretty funny.
But
I didn't think about
them
how you
going-
said it. It's showing him having a transformation. Hopefully he's becoming
Yes.
a better, more considerate, more patient, less volatile person.
Yeah, even if he fixes himself 10%, they can win the war. Damon is
Just
the
a little
key to
bit.
the war. Just a little bit. He don't gotta go 100% like, like Mother Teresa, but he gotta like get a little closer from being like
Yeah.
the ever dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, no, I give it a large bag of popcorn. I think it's really good, and it's a watch that, John.
Definitely watch that, John. And your name is Sea Smoke. I hate you.
Yeah, see smoke. I'm naming myself after a different dragon every night.
You're a fool.
Episode, whatever.
But all right, guys, thank you much for listening. James, tell them where to find us.
Thank you for listening to the Watch That John podcast. You can find us on Instagram at the Watch That John at Watch That John. You can find the Watch That John podcast on YouTube, and you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you find your podcast.
Apple Podcasts, not Apple Music.
So thanks for listening. Apple Podcasts, Apple Music.
If you go on Apple Music, you are not going to see Watch That John. If you do, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
That'd be cool, yeah. So, yeah, thanks for listening, and until next time.
Bye, guys.